questions for Jake Smith?
Talk about what it was like having a bye week and not having a game on the weekend.
Well, typical bye week, you get some time to get your legs back, which I think was huge for us. And we practiced for 3 days last week, and then we got Friday and Saturday off. So some guys went home, and some guys kind of just sat around the apartment or the dorm or whatever here. It was good though, and I mean it's just one of those things. The bye weeks, I mean, they're always a blessing because there's such a grind during the season. It was good for us.
Take us back to the Pitt game last year. You all coming in on a little bit of a roll and kind of laid an egg there, and ended up maybe costing you a trip to the Orange Bowl. I mean, do y'all feel like you got some making up to do for them?
Oh, absolutely. Not only last year, but for the last 6 years or so. We haven't beat Pitt since 2006. So traditionally we're not very good against them, and that's one thing that we really have to be wary of because they do have a good football team. They're a good defensive team, and they're a very smash-mouth offense. So we're definitely aware of how we played last year, and we came out a little flat. I mean, I think it was pretty obvious to everybody. And it's Pitt. I mean, they're going to come out ready to play. I mean, we're not looking at records or anything, but we just know they're a good football team, and we're going to get their best shot, and we're going to get everybody's best shot. So we have to prepare as such. So.
What do you think about the 11 o'clock start as opposed to the past 2 road games where you played night games?
Well, I mean, we won't get home at 4 in the morning, so that might help. But I'm not, we can't really control when we play, what time, and 11 o'clock is what draw we got. So I'm just happy that we're on ESPNU and we're able to play in front of a national audience again. So it's fun.
Not that you'd want to play in rain every game, but once you got to the point at Southern Miss where you realize, okay, we just got to run the ball. There's nothing fancy here. Get down and get dirty. Is that kind of what a lineman revels in, that type of situation?
Oh yeah, towards the end, it was the end of the second quarter. I remember the drive, the touchdown drive. We kind of knew we had to pin our ears back and run the ball, and yeah, that is something that linemen revel in, and we enjoy kind of a smash mouth game. I mean, you might be a little sore after it, but that's fine. You can we get to do a lot of dirty work, and when you're running the ball like that, it's nice to be able to get some credit, I guess. The backs run hard too.
2 weeks ago was the headsets. Last week it was that storm. Are you ready to play a normal football game? Are you guys excited about that?
Yeah, it seems like all the elements have been against us, huh? But yeah, absolutely. It's going to be nice to have a game where everything kind of might go our way. But I feel like FIU's headsets were down too. I mean, it was raining on Southern Miss's sideline as well, so it was really a level playing field in that regard. But it'll be nice this week.
When there's not anybody in the locker room who's ever beat a team, how do you prepare mentally to kind of overcome that?
You just have to give the team your best shot, and we just have to know that we have a good football team here, and we're prepared to go out and play well against anybody. So Pitt is a good team, but we've beat good teams in the past, and you just prepare like any other game that you want to go out and win. Our coaches give us a great game plan. They definitely know what they're doing up there, and we just have to prepare and come out. And we can't come out flat like we did last year against Pitt, but we just have to come out and we have to play our hardest.
You're from Florida. There are a ton of guys on the roster from Florida. Now, you're from Northern and not the Miami area, but...
I'm actually from Alabama.
I'm sorry. I thought I just read it right there. All right, then we'll take Alabama.
The drive?
Yeah, the draw. What made you come to...
Coach Strong. Coach Strong was the reason I came here. He, obviously the name has become a very marketable name, but he's a great recruiter. I mean, when he talks to you, he told us he was going to build a program, and so far, I mean, there's evidence that he's done that. So, just knowing that I would be playing for a great coaching staff, and then the facilities here are very nice too. So, it's a great school.
So you're saying that the coach has a great technique when he comes to your house?
Oh, he's an excellent recruiter. So I don't think he came to my house. I think Mike Groh did. But when I came up here, my visit was great, and just seeing what we're all about. I'm sure as a recruit now, coming into these doors, it might be a little better than when I was because they kind of renovated the place. But it's just the whole field, the whole town. The town's really nice too. I love the town. So just Louisville is a very appealing place. So
So far I've heard you and Coach Strong both use words like smash mouth and hard-nosed. When you play a team like this, what do you learn about your own team?
Well, you learn how smash mouth and hard nosed you are, because to match a team's physicality is really the key to these games, and not only to match it but to overcome it and to show that you're a more physical team, which is going to be a tough task. So I mean, because Pitt is like we said, hard nosed, smash mouth, very physical. So it's just one of those things that the most physical team is going to win this game.
Jake, you guys are 5-0. Do you feel like there's still a lot to prove for this team?
Absolutely. We haven't played very well the last couple games, and it's evident. You guys know, we know, and we have to come out and prove that we're a lot better team than that, because we haven't been playing to our level.
How do you think Teddy Bridgewater has handled the last couple of weeks, maybe not performing up to what he wanted to?
Well, if anybody's having trouble with the rain and the headsets, I wouldn't say Teddy's having trouble, but it's kind of against him, because obviously he couldn't throw the ball last week very well. I feel like if the conditions were a little more favorable, then he would have thrown the ball a lot better. I feel like the outcome of the game might have been a little different too, but I don't feel like he's. It's not really. I don't think it's his fault. I think if any elements affected anybody, it was probably him the most, because of the nature of his position, throwing the ball. You can't throw the ball when it's 5 pounds and soaking wet. So, and then the headsets, the adjustments are really huge for a quarterback. So when you're not able to make those adjustments from the box, it kind of hurts.
Do you sense an eagerness from him to maybe get back out there and prove himself again?
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. He's a big time competitor, and he's a real smart kid, and he's a real hard worker. So you can kind of tell he's ready to go out and have a big game.
How would you size up, the conference to this point? Rutgers and Cincinnati have emerged. Pitt struggled, but they, blew out West Virginia. I feel like the conference is, maybe proven to be better than maybe a lot of people thought it would be at the beginning of the year.
I think the Big East is a traditionally underrated conference, because players come out of here and go to the NFL every single year. I mean, that we get a lot of slack from the national media and stuff, from ESPN or whoever, about how we're kind of maybe the 6th or even 7th conference. But I mean, I think in the BCS we might have one of the best records in BCS bowl games. I think we've beaten a lot of good out of conference teams. We had a couple out of conference wins against the SEC and the ACC. Obviously, 2 teams from the Big East have beaten what was a top 15 Virginia Tech team. I think this conference is really underrated, honestly. And there's a lot of really good players that come out of the Big East. You don't have to look too far for great talent. So we see it on film every week.
Sounds like you studied up on that stuff.
I'm kind of a nerd, so.
But it sounds like you take a lot of pride in your conference. I mean, what does it mean to you when you see people bashing the Big East and talking that this isn't real big time football?
Oh, it's not. I'm not trying to say this in a real derogatory way, but it's kind of offensive when you see somebody just bashing the football conference that you're in, and then. I mean, you see, like last year when West Virginia was in the conference, they came and they blew out the Clemson, and then they moved to another conference, and now they're a top 10 team. And that's a team that we beat last year, which I'm not saying, anything against West Virginia. They're a very good football team. But it's just I think it's the whole conference, just the whole perception nationally. I just don't think it's how it should be, because I don't think people see, like playing in it, I don't think people see what we see on film every week. I mean, we see great players come out of here. Last year we played against, Cincinnati had 2 NFL draft picks on the defensive line. North Carolina, they weren't in the Big East, but we played against them, and they had a first-round draft pick on their defensive line. Chandler Jones from Syracuse, he was a first-round draft pick. Bruce Irvin from West Virginia was a first-round draft pick. We play against top-notch talent every single week. And I feel like when people start to realize that, and this year it's really big for Cincinnati and us and Rutgers to come out and be undefeated, and Rutgers had a win against a top 10 preseason Arkansas team. I feel like there needs to be a little more respect, but you only gain it by winning games.
So why do you think it persists?
Because we beat each other up, I feel like, in conference. Because there's not really too many undefeated teams that come out of the conference. Because we do beat other teams up, so it's tough. I'm not going to say we're going to have the national champion every year, but I think there's really good teams in the Big East.
Well, you come from SEC territory. Mm-hmm. How much disrespect towards the Big East do you hear from down there?
I wouldn't really say disrespect so much, but it's just kind of I don't know, like a little brother type of deal or something. It's not disrespect. It's just like lack of national awareness, I guess. But But I'm not saying everybody, hates the Big East and stuff. I just feel like we have good teams. So
Are you gonna run for commissioner when you're?
you never know. See how it goes.
Switch down there, that's good stuff.
Did you watch Pitt and Syracuse Friday night, and what impressed you?
I actually didn't watch the game. I'm actually about to go watch it on film right now. But from what our coaches have told us, I mean, they have a good defense. Their defensive line, their 2 defensive tackles played pretty well against Syracuse. And Pitt, I mean, like I said, they're going to be a good team.
You mentioned what Rutgers has been able to do. How does the league look now compared to the way you might have looked at it back in August?
It looks really competitive. I mean, there was a little bit of, I guess, we didn't really know what was going to happen this year. Cincinnati, there were some questions, and Rutgers, there were some questions, and with us, there were some questions of youth. But to have, at this point in the season, have 3 undefeated teams it's good to see that competitiveness, and I like it.
Jamon Brown, you're playing with him now then. Are you guys still fine-tuning a lot? Are you feeling like you're in each other's head and moving together a lot? What about playing with him right now?
It's good. It's good. I feel like Jamon's he's really honing his skills right now, and we're me and him as a right side are really gelling over there. But excuse me, there is a lot of work to do. So just like at every position, we still have a lot of work to do, and we have to play better than we have in the last couple of games.
You had 2 days off in a row, much less a Friday and a Saturday. What'd you do to Whoopi?
I honestly.
Answer that one.
Honestly, well, I just kind of just hung out. I didn't really do too much, so just kind of recollected and got my body
Have you ever
together.
been asked about Whoopi before?
That's the first for sure. But,
If John isn't able to go, who steps in and how do you help them along if he's unable to go in this game?
Cam Joyer, he played the majority of the snaps against Southern Miss, and he played really hard too. So I don't think there's gonna be too much of a drop off. And he's got Cupper over there, and he's like a rocket scientist. What that is. So it's good. But, thank you all.
Thanks.